Welcome to T Boys TV. We are back again with another Hat Show, obviously episode 298. And in this one, we've got a lot to talk about. Obviously, there's not too long left when you really think about it of the transfer window. So obviously a lot's come in, potential outgoing, potential incoming. And yeah, I didn't do a video earlier today because I just thought we're doing it now. So yeah, but obviously if stuff comes out throughout the week, and stuff looks like it's going to be settled and done, then obviously we'll get into it then as well on the T-Boy discusses, as you guys know by now. But yeah, Dad, how have you been since Saturday?
Yeah, all good, mate. All good.
Good. Big up to everyone that's been waiting in the chat as well. But yeah, let's get into it. So yeah, we obviously took on Lincoln. Going into it, we expected a tough game. Obviously, we expected quite similar to the Stevenage game in terms of them having chances at points. And they did take them. They did take them. Something Stevenage didn't really do. But in terms of the lineup, I mean, let's be honest. Like I said in the match reaction, mate, 99% of us were skeptical seeing that lineup. And the main thing from that was seeing Naismith straight back in, let's be honest. So it was him and Anderson as the back two. Obviously, Longwick on the right, or the centre back, shall I say. Johnson, obviously, on the left. Keeley in goal, obviously. Walsh, and it seemed like Bramall was a bit deeper, in that role, which was quite interesting. Didn't think he had the worst of games there, except the first goal, which obviously we get into. Lawrence played, and he actually was on the right, which was quite interesting to see. Kadoa obviously on the left, Clark through the middle, and Wells up front. So, yeah, I mean, the big talking point, like I say, was Naismith back in. That was a surprise. Like, maybe it's not like because of how Wilshire's bigged him up, but then in this type of game, out of nowhere, he still said he's still got to do a few bits to get back. As for the bench, we had MAKOSSO, Morris, Richards. Good to see Richards back. Saville, Shea, Walters, and Yates. So, again, I mean, it is that type of period, that time where, a lot of things can be told from lineups in terms of players leaving. Obviously, Jacob Brown not in the lineup again. Tida Mengi not in the lineup again, even though apparently he's got an injury. But there's no injury for Brown. We know that. So to me, that tells me he's going to get loaned out with an option to buy, hopefully. But yeah, I mean, interesting that Naismith and Bramall was in that role. They were the main two talking points, weren't they, Dad?
Yeah, it was mixing up. Yeah, I did see that because he hadn't been playing well. Let's be honest, everyone knows that. We know what he's generally capable of, and that he should be like, helping the team, just being, calm and things like that. And which he hasn't majorly been, but and then when we went 2-0 down, obviously, 1-0 down, 2-0 down, it's easy to then just go, well, but we totally turned it around, and he was quite an instrumental part of that, So if he's going to be starting, then let's see if he's carries on the consistency.
Yeah, I mean, the first two goals we conceded, I mean, the first one, I mean, I've looked at it back. Bramall, I mean, I know he's been good for us, but this game, I mean, I don't feel we had the greatest of games in that role. But then again, should he be playing in that role? Not for me. It doesn't make sense really for me. Yes, I know Johnson's been on good form, but then you could have brung Bramall on in this type of game. He obviously done that in one of the recent games where he started Lawrence. So you can do that. And the thing is as well, when you've got Bramall on the bench, right, and you play Lawrence and Johnson with the form that Johnson's on, which is pretty decent, Bramall has two options then. You can either put him as a left midfielder or you can put him in that left back role. And I just, I mean, obviously a lot of the defence was frustrated at Bramall on that first goal. I mean, it's a free man. I mean, again, it goes down to a lot of goals we've conceded this season in terms of like individual errors, not marking properly or doing a bit of silliness, But again, it's one of them. I mean, he's sort of in that CDM role, so maybe he's looked at it and thought, well, I'm expected to be a bit higher up. and someone else would be there. Like I do think if he was playing left back, he would have just been there, because that is something he doesn't really, do in terms of his game so far. Obviously, I know we've seen him, burst forward more, but when he has played left back, I mean, he's been all right. So I would have backed him to be all right there. And then the second goal we concede, I mean, Longwick's ball watching, and I've said it loads of times. We played a better side to get caught out of right back. I feel, he hasn't really been. He's been overall, he's been okay in right back, but the last couple of games, I don't feel he's been great. And we've played the better sides, so it does sort of make sense. Obviously, Stevenage not up there, but they were at the time. Obviously, did get battered on the weekend, and then obviously, Lincoln, they're a team that's second. For me, they will still finish second. I know people are frustrated with the way they played, and I was very surprised. If I'm going to be honest, it's like as soon as it got to 2-1, they were nervous. They were nervous, and they were just trying to play like they were happy for the point. And again, like I said, going into it, I know a lot of their fans said they would be happy to get a point out of this game. And I think what helped them is Bradford losing. I think if Bradford won that game, they would have tried to go. They would have actually tried to go for the game. But I think the fact that happened, they're sort of happy to get a point out of Kenilworth Road, given how we've been at home as well recently, which is good. And obviously I weren't there, but a lot of people saying the atmosphere is really good, probably the best it's been in a while, which is obviously good. And again, it goes back to what me and you said, Dad, a while ago. The players have got to give the fans something. And they did. Yes, the start of the game was awful, but the fight back was there, and we should have won the game. We should have won the game. But obviously we'll get into all that. But yeah, the 2 goals, I mean, what did you make of them, Dad?
Yeah, the cross probably shouldn't have been allowed to be, whipped in really. But yeah, when you're playing in a different position, it's easy to do, isn't it? So, I feel we need another lump up there in defence. Someone big and able to head the ball away consistently, like Anderson. We probably need another one of them sort of guys. Do you know what I mean? And we had it before when we was in League One. In the league we had Bradley and Pearson and that. Lockyer as well. Like maybe not. Just we'll get there. But that's the thing. We're not used to, clearly, especially lately, people just lumping the ball into the box. I still get nervous every time. Like corners would probably a bit better at. Do you know what I mean? But like other set pieces, it's just like, or just in open play particularly. Yeah. So it wasn't great. And the second one, half 50-50. Naismith was tugging him. Do you know what I mean? Maybe Naismith should have let go at that point. And then they got the free kick, but we still have to deal with it. And like I said, Longwick was ball watching the ball rather than the play. He weren't great in the first half, much better after he got flattened into the hoardings and that. He just become different. A fair play to him, do you know what I mean? Because he is a good player there. And again, let's be honest, he's kind of out of position as well at times. So yeah, it was frustrating. It was just basic, just slinging it into the box, and that's what teams are going to do all season. So we need to get better at defending them if we want to, try and have a good run at getting promoted. So, but like you say, the fight back, then it was just like, oh, this could be, do it, more and more. But no, they turned it around, and obviously, yeah, the first goal, Walsh corner, wasn't it? And we sort of done the similar thing to them. No one was marking Kadua, who was the best player on the pitch at that time, I'd say. And, just strong position, wanted it, just really wanted it and got it. And that, and before, because we're scoring, quite early, we're not struggling, we're going at it, the confidence is definitely there for this fight backs, but we shouldn't be doing it. But I did say that in the preview that I thought I said 2-1 Kadua and Wells would score, but we'd go behind, you know what I mean? But 2-0, you're not really expecting that. But and we should have won, right? Of course, we just dominated as soon as the whole second half, which was when all they were doing was playing for free kicks, trying to delay it, shit house tactics for a team that's second. surely they can't be second by playing. I know they beat us 3-1 away, and they weren't obviously at home. Sorry, at their ground, but they weren't that long ball then. I didn't think. And no doubt they don't do it again. They do it a lot, obviously, because they seem to be very good at it. But yeah, I don't know. I'd thought they'd play a bit more football. If that's the quality, no doubt, and the respect that we got because we were just all over them. This is what we should be doing anyway. But there's no doubt we should be climbing the table based on that. But yeah, and then obviously the second goal, Naismith, and he was doing this. Obviously Johnson's been doing it. It's nice to see Johnson on the pitch at the same time as well. I think that really helped because that side is generally covered. Maybe a little bit Naismith was going into that position where he didn't really need to be because, obviously he was covering for Johnson. But yeah, the little run forward, great pass, and Welsh had felt like maybe he was going to go on a little bit of a run and then try and shoot. No, just took it, turned, shot, really banged that into the bottom corner. Really powerful shot. I mean, it gets better every time. The right footed, the more you look at it. And then, yeah, at the end of that, he deserved that as well. And, their keeper was like, getting right frustrated. Clown, by the way. Cost us the game, really. But, yeah. And then after that, we were just all over them, apart from the last 10 minutes where we were visibly tired. We looked a bit weaker, didn't have as much. They were a bit more confident when Kadura come off. But then, yeah, and then we scored, obviously, which we believe the winning goal. Obviously, during the stream, I was like, does it count? I don't know, just something just didn't feel right. But I looked at it, and everyone's seen it again. The keeper blatantly, he fouls himself. It's like players will come in there.
And the thing is, just quickly, if anyone contacted him, it was their own player.
Yeah, no one touched it. It went towards him, and no one touched him. It was ridiculous. Like, he was flapping around a little bit anyway. But yeah, that was absolute rubbish. Like, because the ref, everyone's saying about the ref, but the ref, for me, he initially gave the goal straight away. Because as soon as they pointed to the centre spot, I thought, that's it, okay. And then he's obviously got in his ear from the linesman, as obviously must have said, oh, that's a foul to him. And he's changing it. It definitely wasn't. Definitely wasn't. The linesmen, I don't know, like, are they the ones that you're not good enough to be a referee in it? And the referees are shit anyway, so you just be a linesman, like being in goal or something when you're at school. They're fucking terrible.
Yeah, and then you got to think the Stevenage game as well. The week before, when the keepers stepped in front, the linesman's got closer to him. Didn't even notice that.
It's that side as well. It was definitely, they got away with one there. But, this is football and karma does, it has a way of sorting itself out. So it wouldn't surprise me if, something similar happens in their situation, in the game they play or this, that, and the other. That's what's going to happen. But, they got away with one there. And if that's like, they're, up there, then we ain't got nothing to fear about pushing them teams if we win a few games in a row. I'm not scared of that, because they ain't gonna. They'll come up against certain teams away, and they'll just fold.
I mean, they have anyway. Like, obviously, like we said going into it, they got battered to Rotherham. I mean, Rotherham are shit. With all due respect, they are fucking awful.
So that there is that. And then obviously, last time we were tiring, had a little rally. Great save from Keeley, probably one of his best this season. And you can see his confidence back as well, because the rest of the teams do it, genuinely doing well. Obviously, the first couple of guys he couldn't do anything. Do you know what I mean? It was just far near post, like you can't do anything, So yeah, we definitely deserved to win that game, and it was good to see a fight back. Slightly, I wasn't that disappointed with a point, but as you said before, next two games particularly are pretty. This next month, sign-ins, then these next two games are well important. Plymouth got to get revenge. Jack did say the last time he was in that area of the country, Devon, and that we weren't good enough, and we need to find that and be good enough. Take this fight back spirit, this 2 away matches, which I believe we will do, because we weren't that bad away really. We got some good results away, but yeah, that obviously needs to improve. And we got players back from injury now, so let's see what happens. Yeah, I thought it was a good performance in the end, just unlucky really. And yeah, they got away with one. Keeper, he flapped at it, or he knew he wasn't getting it, so he just sort of, oh shit, right, terrible. But the thing is, players know they can get away with some of these things in this league because there's no VAR, and if the linesman or all that's not on the fucking ball for 90 minutes, etc., then they know they're fucked up, but they're just like, oh. But none of them are like, actually, it's like they don't have the balls to go, no, there was nothing. The ref the ref didn't see anything. And I'd say he had a decent view of it, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like you say, the referee initially said, obviously, it's a goal, there's nothing wrong with it. But I just think every time we've had him, I mean, I think of that Sunderland game where, fucking Diallo blatantly dived. I got a great angle of it. I remember going back on the coach, Mike said to me, have you seen, everyone reposting your clip? I'd look at it and I was like, wow. Like, Luton Town fans, shout out to them. They reposted it. Players reacted to it at the time. Bell, Nakamba, etc. That was nowhere near a penalty, and then you look at like this incident, all right, fair enough, the linesman said it, but when the players were asking him what's going on, foul on keeper. What do you mean foul on keeper, mate? And then even the stuff in the game, Dad. I mean, you got to think of it, the Naismith one where he just didn't foul him and he said it was a foul. That was poor.
Yeah, that was really
Bramall's yellow card. That was bullshit and all. Like, this referee, mate, honestly, what's he even doing? What is he even doing, man? Fucking honestly, like, I know the refs are poor, but like, he's next level poor. He must have an agenda against us or something. Seriously. So yeah, I was fuming with that, to be honest. I was like you say, Dad, I was actually happy with a point, partly because I said it, that we would draw, and also, where Lincoln are in the table. But yeah, like, after seeing that back and that, it is frustrating. And you can totally understand why Wilshere said after the game, I'm going to talk to him. I'm going to have a conversation with the referee and go in there and see what's what. And then, people saying, oh, he was the one we had against Sunderland all them years ago, which was actually a vital point for them, which it shouldn't have been, to get them in the playoffs. And obviously we got revenge anyway, so that was good. But yeah, just stuff like that. You think of the history and you're just like, wow. But like, even though that wasn't his decision, like say on the goal, you look at the stuff in the game. I mean, Naismith, that was never a foul. Yeah, and what I will say, Dad, I agree with you, and I said it on my reaction anyway. I thought Naismith, he started really poor. He's given away a lot of fouls, but then he grew into the game, and obviously got the assist for Wells as well. Good pass through, and then he was pretty good after that. I got to be honest.
Well,
so
I think he thought, you know what, I can't get in close with these players because he's just blowing it up every time. Do you know what I mean? So he sort of backed off a little bit from going in for the tackles, but it just improved his positioning and just started thinking about other ways he can affect the game, and that's exactly what he did.
Yeah, no, he was good. He was good. Like, other than that poor start, he was good. To be fair to him, he was better than our. That's probably up there with the Doncaster game for him in terms of his best games this season. Obviously, he's not had a load of great games as we know, but they're probably the standout two for me. So yeah, that's how I see it. But we'll go through the comments because there's a lot of comments flying in. Big up to Harry. He says, evening, lads. Hope you're both well. Yep, good. Thanks, mate. Hope you're well. Jackie says, hi, Ty and Daz. Very, very frustrated, Daz, as you can tell there. Harry says, overall, great result in the end for you lot, especially when Brewers. Yeah, that was massive. The only thing I will say about that win, as much as it is obviously great for you guys, and it was actually a massive win, they sat their manager. So, and obviously we've got them coming up. So I'm going to have a close eye on what they do. I think they got Stockport or Bradford, someone like that. That's right up there. So it's going to be interesting to see how they do. But that game, and I said it on my reaction the other day, that could be a game, right, we can look back on at the end of the season and go, that was a vital win for either side, if they obviously win the game. That's how I think it is, because I think us, and especially us, Huddersfield and Bolton, we're going to be in very similar positions come the end of the season. And I know obviously we've got Bolton on the final day of the season. That could be a mental game, to be honest. Yeah, no, I agree, mate. If we're consistent and we improve away, 100%. So yeah, that's how I see Johnson driving with the ball. Yeah, I've noticed that since the Exeter game, he's done that a lot, especially through the middle as well. And like I said, I think he's done pretty well attacking. And even like I've been a bit skeptical of him defensively. Like obviously the Exeter game gave away that foul towards the end, but this game, I mean, nothing wrong in terms of him defensively. I know on the 2 goals he was very frustrated with obviously Bramall on the first one, Longwick on the second one. And that was good to see as well, because he's, obviously one of the younger players, but he's still like proper, shouting and not happy. So that's good to see as well. So yeah, I thought he was really good in the game, to be honest. Big up to Paul. He says, evening all. Yeah, exactly, mate. Exactly. Yeah, Stevenage should have had a red card. Yeah, clear as fucking day. That was awful and all. Jackie says, exciting game. Yeah, like I say, if you're a neutral fan, that was a brilliant game to watch. But yeah, it's one of them. I mean, and also a reason why I wasn't too disheartened with a point is because, when we were 2-0 down, like you say, Dad, we think it's done. Even at 1-0, I was like, oh my God, it's going to be one of them days. So, yeah, that's how I see it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it could be another one of them points you look on, like you say. Moving on to the player ratings for this game. Like I say, that save from Keeley at the end, that was a massive save. And fair play to him. Fair play to him. That was a good save. I mean, the goals, he couldn't have done anything. So I'll give him a 6.5.
Yeah, I agree. 6.5.
Yeah. Paul's gone 7.5. Moving on to Longwick. Yeah, like I say, as soon as he had that round his head, he was better. But for me, it's just like sometimes in games, like he does really good ground passes, right? For example, like I know we lost the game, but Reading away, right? His ground passes were pretty good. Obviously, scored that great goal as well. But then there's moments like where his ground passing is just poor. And obviously, ball watching the second goal, like I say, I will give him a 6.
6.5.
6.5, fair enough. Paul's gone 7. Moving on to Johnson, like I say, I've been sceptical of him defensively at times. Going forward, I think he's good. But yeah, I mean, nothing wrong from him in this game for me. So I actually give him a 7.
Yeah, I'll give him a 7. He got better as the game grew along.
Yeah, like the whole back line, to be honest. Moving on to Naismith. Again, like I say, few fouls at the start, which were frustrating, but I felt he grew into the game towards the back end of that first half. Obviously, got the assist. It was never a foul in the second half. A lot of times I say it is with him, but that wasn't a foul whatsoever. So, yeah, for me, Naismith, I'll give him a... Do you know what? I'll give him a 7.5.
Yeah, 7.5, definitely. And, let's hope he can... If maybe he was only in the team because, MAKOSSO is obviously not he's going, let's be honest. Mengi's not available. We're not putting Holmes there. Do you know what I mean? Johnson doesn't deserve to lose his place, etc., etc. And, obviously he's liked and respected by players, I would say, and obviously Wilshere. And he just needs to be consistent more. But, yeah, 7.5.
Yeah, and also I think, and we've said it anyway, Dad, we think he's better as a centre-back anyway, in comparison to left-back. I think left-back, he can be exposed a bit. I think what a worry was for a lot of fans, sort of me, because I like to have one pacey centre-back if you play a back four. I mean, that was a bit of a worry as well. Obviously, him and Anderson not the fastest, and they done all right. The goals, I don't blame them for the goals, to be honest. So yeah, like I say, Jackie says Keeley 7. Johnson 7.5 says Paul. Jackie also says 7.5. Naismith 6 says Jackie. 7 says Paul. Moving on to Anderson. I thought he had another pretty decent game. Airily, I mean, I've said it anyway, but like airily in this game, I thought he was pretty good again. And there's been games where we've missed him, where we've not had him in the team. Obviously, he was rested as well on Tuesday night, so that was also good. And it says that he's it shows that he's doing well. And I think we are finally seeing, even though he's been good a lot of the season, I think we're finally seeing what Barnsley saw when he was there in ways. So do you know what? I thought he was our best one. I'll give him an 8.
Yeah, he was. Consistent. It was good to see him back in the team. I was pleased with that, and just carrying on that concentration, consistency, and he's just making him a better player. So the more games he gets. So yeah, 8.
Yep. Paul has gone 7.5. Jackie has gone with a 7. Moving on to Bramall. I mean, for me, I'll be honest, I'm not sure if I want to see him in that role again. We probably will, but I don't know, man. I just feel he's better either as a left back, but obviously you can't drop Johnson, or on that left side. In terms of the midfielder. So I'm not going to be too harsh on him himself. The yellow card was BS. That weren't even a yellow card as well. So I'll just give him a 6.5.
Yeah, same. And the thing is, he's been affected by Lawrence coming in. Do you know what I mean? Because if chances are, if Lawrence hadn't come in, then Kadura would be on the right, and he'd have been on the left of that three-prong midfield. So yeah, I don't know if he will play there again. So, I mean, McGuinness can play there. Lamine, obviously, was he on the bench? Lamine, I'm not sure if he was.
No, he wasn't actually.
So he'd normally be there, but he wasn't great in the last game, was he? So yeah, 6.5.
Yeah, that's another shout. I didn't actually realise. Yeah, he wasn't. He wasn't. But yeah, other ratings. Bramall 7. Says Paul. Jackie's gone 6.5. Moving on to Walsh. Again, like I said on the match reaction, you could argue he's man of the match. He's not quite mine, but he was really, really good. And that's the thing. Like we've said loads, we want to see that consistency for him. And I'll tell you what, at home he's given it. The Exeter game, I don't feel he is great, to be honest. So he needs to bring that into away games. If he can bring that into away games, I mean, he'll be getting a lot more man of the matches, I reckon. Especially in that type of role, given it's not really natural to him. But like even when he was getting stuck in this game, like proper getting the balls at times, interceptions, he was good, and he nearly scored as well. Obviously, had that shot. Still hasn't scored yet, unfortunately, but hopefully he does. Hopefully he does, because if he carries on like this, he definitely deserves a goal. Similar to like Wells' last couple of performances, then he scores a great goal and does deserve it. So, yeah, Walsh for me, I'll give him an 8.5.
Give him an 8. I thought he was really good. Working hard as well as his passing and controlling, part of making getting us forward, etc. Probably one of his best games. Yeah, I'll give him an 8.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Paul's gone 9. Jackie's gone 8 as well. Moving on we'll go over to Lawrence on that right hand side. Obviously, our first time seeing him on the right hand side. Again, I thought he was decent, and obviously, again, like I keep saying, he's getting used to the senior football. So with him, like I think he starts the games really well, and then he sort of fades out a little bit as the game goes on. But he was still decent. So I'll give him a 6.5.
Yeah, same. He's confident. Going forward, definitely. He knows he's got a skill and technique. You can see that he's got that Premier League pedigree and that. Made some good runs and that. Had a shot, I believe, in the bit tame, but still, got into the position and stuff. He's only 20, so yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Away, I don't think away's great for him. I don't think I'd play him away. I might bring him on, depending what I don't know if I'd start him away against certain teams, definitely. But yeah, 6.5.
Yeah, do you know what? I'd probably agree, because you got to think, obviously, bigger crowds in terms of more home fans, and obviously there's less away fans as well. Obviously he's still got a lot to learn. He's not played in like majorly big crowds yet. So yeah, I'd agree. You need someone with a bit more experience there, and we've got loads of options, out wide, like we've said loads of times. And that could even be a time you put Bramall higher up, them type of games, because I feel we obviously can do well there. He's shown that. Stockport away, it's a great example, and obviously there's been a few others as well. Lawrence 7 says Jackie and Paul as well. Moving on to Kadoa on the other side. For me, he's a man of the match. I thought he was, like you say, Dad, I thought in the first half he was immense, really. Obviously got that goal as well, leaped onto it. I do think Anderson was fouled, but Kadoa was behind him anyway to get it in. And yeah, I mean, he's proving week in, week out, why he's, such a good player for us. And yeah, like I say, man of the match for me. So I will give him. I'll give him a. Well, I gave Walsh 8.5, so I have to give him a 9.
I'll give him an 8. He is my man of the match. Good goal to get us back in it. But they were scared of him. That he was going past. They were putting men on him. He was running past 3 of them. Always making these little jinky runs, linking up with Lawrence and Clark really well. And was just dangerous, just really, really dangerous. And yeah, bagged his 10th for the season. I thought it was excellent, and they just couldn't handle him. And obviously, you come off after 75 minutes. You know what I mean? Whereas Walsh played the whole game, but no, for me, coming back into the fold and that just gets better in every game. And yeah, I can see him being proper vital now to score some important goals for us. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, man of the match for me, 8.
Yeah, and also obviously we know he's good on the left anyway, but he was there again, showing that he's good on that side as well as the right hand side. 8.5 says Paul. Jackie's gone with an 8, and also for the votes, he's now level at the top with Saville and Bramall on our vote stud. So yeah. And then obviously Clark through the middle. Shout out to Clark. I didn't actually mention it at the time, but obviously that was his 200th appearance for us. I mean, that is fair play to him. That is mental. They did put a video out today. I haven't watched it, but it's like all his goals that he scored.
I've watched it. I'm disappointed because they didn't show any of the cup goals. I don't think so. He's
really the Man City ones. They didn't show them.
Right, they didn't show. I didn't see them on there. Just showing like league goals. He scored against Man City anyway in the league, but yeah, some of the goals, brilliant goals. Obviously, the Cardiff one was up there. A lot of other ones as well, but the one against Man City at home and away, I think he scored. I'm sure he did, but he scored a banger against them, and then we know he scored 2 bangers against them in the
FA Cup,
Cup as well. Maybe they were on there, maybe just didn't, you know what I mean? But yeah, no, I watched it. It was nice. And then the first couple of goals you saw, 2020 in that, he was like on the wing, then playing on the wing. So he was cutting inside, couple of diving headers and that. Yeah, brilliant. Definitely give him another contract if we can keep him. Do you know what I mean? I think we will be able to. But yeah, another really good performance, and we are better with him in the team. Let's be honest.
Especially in that high
deputising as captain, he's done well. Do you know what I mean? Especially if you compare it to Shea. He went 2 games as captain, both not great to be honest. So yeah, I'll give him a 7.5.
Yeah, I will give him a 7.5 as well. I think in that advanced role he's much better. Obviously, when a lineup comes out, you don't really know where Bramall was. So I thought for a second he was deeper with Walsh, and I was thinking we can't do that. You've got to be playing Clark higher up. We've seen how good he is up there and how much more beneficial he is in terms of creating the attacks, being that one in the central one, they're playing it out wide and everything like that. So yeah, that was good. It was good to see that he wasn't in the end. But yeah, I mean, yeah. He's one of them players for me. You just give him what he wants. In terms of money, you just got to give him what he wants. He is the one that deserves it the most for me. His loyalty throughout. Also, the fact, he's witnessed 2 back-to-back relegations. And if anyone, when we were playing poor still and, had that losing mentality, it should have been him. But he was like the one who least had it. Do you know what I mean? It's
obviously the goal at Wembley as well.
Yeah, of course.
And a lot. I noticed a few goals that he linked up. Getting into the box where Elijah was always looking for him as well. Do you know what I mean? And the more I see some of Elijah's stuff and that, like in games and that, we definitely do miss him. Let's hope that he can retain the form if we manage to keep hold of him. That we know that he can do. And it's a shame he's been injured for so long because I really think that possibly he might have had a slow start, but he would have got to grips with this league definitely. and that would have kicked him on. But we'll see. Hopefully, he's back. In a month's time, he's on a team sheet. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And yeah, like you say, and that's the thing. Like I think if you got Clark in that role, yeah, say where we play him now in that cam role, and then for example when Elijah is back, I mean, obviously we know they've worked well, like you say. Standout one being the playoff final, of course. I mean, Elijah in that to do their skill at that time and then the finish still. But like, if you have him there, like they're going to set each other up for days for me. And then you got Sikdara and all that as well. It's mental, really. And like I've said, I don't expect him to be like, you know, next level good. Like should be because he obviously scored a couple of goals in the Premier League. If he didn't get that injured spell, he probably would have been our top scorer, I reckon. Even though Morris took penalties at that period as well. But yeah, I just think he'll be better than how the others have been overall. I know Wells has played all right recently, but I still think Elijah will bring more, especially when we like playing the long balls, and Elijah's good at controlling it down
And defending them as well.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of times when he played, yeah, he headed it away and stuff. Yeah. I remember.
That's what I'm saying. We need, well, maybe not even just all around the pitch, man. We need some more height in there. Walsh, Clark are small, and Wells, Yates. You know what I mean? Like we need some more height in there. So yeah, that might be something we look at. You muted yourself.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah, obviously it's been the link which we'll get into, which could be one of them players. But yeah, Seven says Paul and Jackie. He is the best. Yeah, obviously he's our favourite Jackie, 100%. Yeah. Obviously Harry's got the Elijah shirt. He did get a Kaminsky one, and then Kaminsky went. Just a bit of shame. But yeah, no, he was really good, man, Elijah, and I'm expecting him to be well. Like I say, I don't think he's gonna like be a guy who's gonna like do like drastic stuff in terms of like loads of goals, but I just think the way he plays will benefit us when he's back, and hopefully by then we actually play two up front. That could be even more ideal, to be honest. But we'll see. We'll see what we do. But yeah, in terms of Wells, we're going to Wells now. Obviously, great goal. I thought he worked hard again, to be honest, and he has done that in the recent home games. As much as he hasn't scored, I think feel he has played better up until this game. Obviously, because he's got a goal, people are saying it's his best game, which I agree with. And the thing is, now he just needs to, if he can keep scoring and showing the effort levels he is, then everyone will love him basically, and they'll get on board with him, and now we'll start to see why we were happy when we signed him, sort of thing. So yeah, for me, he was good. I'll give him 7.5.
Yeah, I'll give him 7.5. Yeah, great goal. As we talked about the finish already. Yeah, he's hardworking, etc., etc. Older than Wilshere, as Wilshere said, he looks in awe because obviously he's still playing and fit and stuff like that. But I still think that we brought him in as a fully experienced and not as an out and out play week in week out. And I don't think he can. The older he gets, more difficult. Certain players can do it, but it'll affect him more. Do you know what I mean? So we need to kind of look after him as well. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him. Maybe I think he probably deserves to start the next game, of course. But we need, we need Elijah and El Hamadi. Them sort of bit more pace with back. And Yates is the one that should be probably doing better. He's a few years younger, more proven at this level. So yeah, but still good performance. Even at the end, he was defending, got fouled on the edge of the area, and carried on and that. So yeah, I'll give him a 7.5.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like I say, Paul's gone 7.5 as well. Jackie says, well, so happy for him. He did well, 7.5. Yeah, and the celebration was obviously brilliant where they're lifting him. That was good. And he was buzzing. Yeah, fair play to him because he has played well recently. For me, it's been ever since the Port Vale game. He's been good after that. It's like when I was saying he was jogging, to try and chase him down. After that, he's like sprinting, he's chasing him down, and he's just getting involved. Like whereas Yates for me is just not doing it, man. I mean, obviously we get into his short cameo, but yeah, in terms of the players that come on, Shaden Morris obviously come on for Lawrence, so obviously a like for like change. I mean, yeah, like I've said, I want to see Morris continue to come on as an impact player in the league. Obviously, if we do progress to the trophy, which is looking likely, I wouldn't mind starting him in them games for now. But yeah, I thought he was, he was trying again. But yeah, it's just not quite what we see, I guess, when he, the first couple of games he come in. But yeah, I'll give him a 6.5.
Yeah, same. It's dangerous getting the corners, getting the crosses in. Pacey player, not scared to take anyone on. So like I say, doing bits what he's come on and asked to. In the 60th minute. So 6.5.
Yeah. And also, when Kadoa come off, I was saying, with the 13 minutes left plus the added time, I wanted to see us try and give the ball to Shaden Morris a bit more, because obviously he'll just, like you say, he's just direct. He'll win corners and things like that. But Richards come on, like I say, it was good to see him back. You could tell he was a bit rusty, so I'll just give him a 6.
Yeah, same. He's saying, but he just needs more minutes. But yeah, 6. Yates, he was on for 4 minutes. You know what I mean? I'm just going to give him a 6.
Right. I'm gonna actually go a bit lower, and the reason I say that, I know he was on for like a few minutes, like you say, but it was about, I think Richards played a ball up there, and he was offside, and then he weren't even like trying to chase back, and it was just like to be onside, and it was just a bit. It was frustrating because if that's Wells, right? I reckon Wells is running back, and it's just like. Yeah, it's just frustrating, really, with him. Like I said, when we signed him, I was buzzing, absolutely buzzing, but he's just not living up to it. I mean, at least Wells is kicking on now, but it's like you say, Wells he's 35. We don't expect him to start week in, week out, and then this is like where you need, like you say, Elijah El Hamidi, because we're not confident in Yates cutting it as the other option. Like, for example, right, if we go to Plymouth away and have Yates up front by himself, I'm not confident. Because I just can't see what he's going to do, to be honest. Whereas Wells now, take away the goal, I know he is going to try and be effective for others in the game. Whereas Yates is just not, he's not doing it for me. And I can't keep saying, oh, it's going to happen eventually. When? Do you know what I mean? Like, paid, a couple of million for him, I think. He's just not doing anything. So it's just frustrating. Richards 6, says Paul. Jackie 6.5 from Morris. So does Paul say that as well. Yates 5, says Paul. Yates 2, says Jackie. But yeah, there you go. They are the ratings. As for the points, I've got to be honest. Don't think she can hear me, but fair play to Jamie. She's got 6 points in the last 2 games. She got both the last games spot on, which is actually put a point behind Jackie, who's obviously top. So yeah, as for the points, I'm on 15. I gained a point because I said a 1-1 draw, so at least I got something. Dad, you're on 9. Jackie, you're on 18. Richard's on 12. Paul, you're on 16. Stephen's on 14. Phil is on 8. Andy's on 2. Darth Vader's on 15. Ben's on 13. Terry's on 9. Dave's on 9. Blitz is on 9. Chat GPT is on 8. Jamie's on 17, like I say. Harry's on 2, Lewis is on 4, and Ryan is on 2. And only myself only myself and Jamie gaining points because we said a draw. Obviously, I said 1-1, she said 2-1. So, yeah, there you go, Jamie. Jackie said, go on, Jamie, to the points. I'm not bottom, then I'll take it. Yeah, exactly, and you joined later as well. So, yeah. To be fair, who is bottom is Tom, but I don't think he knows he's proper in it, to be honest. So yeah. But yeah, I mean that is that in terms of the game. Like I say, I am frustrated the goal didn't count, but at the same time, I'm in that sort of situation where I would have took the point before the game. So I'll take it. But like you said, Dad, I was surprised with Lincoln's approach, to be honest. But at least we capitalised on it because when we played Exeter away, they were doing that at 0-0 in terms of getting frustrated. And for me, we didn't do enough to win the game. Obviously, we didn't even have a shot on target. So, you know, at least the fight back was there, and you got to give the boys credit for that. You know, and I know some people have said, "Oh, you know, yeah, but you know, the team cost us by conceding the 2 goals." I mean, not for me, because we should have won that game. That was never a foul, never a foul. But it shows a lot as well. Like I said in the reaction, if a team like Lincoln who are doing very well, you know, playing like that at Kenilworth Road, you know, respecting the point, that tells me that, you know, if we're on it, there's no reason why we don't get playoffs come the end of the season. That's how I see it. But yeah, in terms of transfer news, now there's obviously been a potential rumour of an outgoing and an incoming. We'll speak on the outgoing first, and that is MAKOSSO. Could be on the way back to Belgium. I mean, it's another one that seems very likely because his lack of minutes really in the side. And he hasn't really been favoured by Wilshere loads. I think the only reason maybe he played against Stevenage was because of the injuries, to be honest. Obviously, Naismith out and things like that. And yeah, I mean, I don't like. Obviously, I will be gutted if it happens, but at the same time, I'm not going to be because I'm just expecting it. It's one of them, and obviously, Belgium's where we got him from. You know, there's obviously been the conversations when we had Bloomfield, obviously the language barrier, obviously turning up late for meetings and things like that. So I'm not sure if he feels fully comfortable in England, to be honest. You know, going back to somewhere where he played originally, I think could do him a world of good. But what I will say is if he does go, I don't think Mengi goes. I don't think we can afford both of them to go. I feel that's a massive risk. But your thoughts on this, Dad?
Yeah, probably the case. You know, there's been issues with him, as we know. You know, he started off really well with us, but you know, and then was left out, and we was like, what's going, you know, and disciplinary issues, and you know, obviously you punched that guy as well, and just not really. A couple of games has been good. You know, there was a good player there, but he's obviously probably not a favourite, and maybe he's looking to a move away because he knows he ain't really getting ahead of certain players as well. So I think it's best all round, to be honest.
And I also think as well, a lot of people said he's not great at passing the ball like on the ground passes, and the way Wilshere wants to play, I don't really think that's beneficial. Which is a shame because I feel there's elements that MAKOSSO is really good at, and obviously, like I said at that time when we played Watford, if Naismith and I think it's McGuinness at the time didn't get injured, he probably wouldn't have got an opportunity. He'd probably never seen him play, you know, like we have with like Pebble and things like that. So yeah, let me know what you guys feel about this. Are you gutted or are you sort of? I'm used to it, so I'm not actually going to be gutted when it officially comes out. To be honest, and it's nothing against him. I think he's a good player, but it's just like the lack of being involved in the squad really, you know, tells me that I'm just gonna get used to it, sort of thing. You know, and if you ask me, would I rather lose him or Mengi? I'm gonna have to say him. I know he's younger, but I feel Mengi is our best centre back. And also I feel all round game, Mengi's got better attributes. I feel he's good at passing the ball out from the back. Not that I really want to see us do that, but that is what we're going to do in games this year, as we've seen. And I feel Mengi, you know, sometimes he'll just deal with it. He'll clear it away, won't he, Dad? I mean, we only have to go back to the recent game against Swindon where MAKOSSO's sort of messing around, and that's what I mean. The ball, you know, playing the ball around the back. He's just, I don't feel Wilshere wants him in the plans just due to that. But at least we saw him play. Do you know what I mean? That's what I will say because, you know, when we signed him, we didn't think we were going to see him play. I mean, I remember, I think when we did sign him, I think I was you know, out somewhere going for a meal. And I was like, yeah, I see a lot of fans saying we probably won't see him play and all that. And I thought the same. So, yeah, I mean, I wish him well. I wish him well, to be honest. But it's looking highly likely. They've opened talks. And like I said, he's obviously had the situation struggling with the language and obviously the discipline, like you say, Dad. So I just think it will happen. So yeah, it's probably. I wouldn't be surprised if he comes out tomorrow that he's left. To be honest with you, that's how I see it. Yeah, exactly. And we said that as well at the time. We've said that loads throughout the season, but this game in particular. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, I know Mengi's only 23. I mean, you'd think he's a bit more, you know, older than that, to be honest. Yeah, I do agree with you also here, Jackie, because you look at it, right? The Stevenage game, I thought he was our best player. But then you look at the Swindon game, he was terrible. He was terrible. So that is an example there. Um, no, I believe that will be a straight permanent, mate. That'll be a straight permanent. But like if Jacob Brown goes, that'll be a loan with an option to buy, hopefully. But yeah, that'll be a permanent for me. But then the other rumor that's come out today, not too long before we actually went on live, to be honest, and that is Casey Palmer. Looks like he could be joining Luton Town. There's been talks between the two clubs. Now, the only thing that does worry me is his stats are not really the best. He's played 9 games for Hull this year in terms of the league. Hasn't quite scored or got an assist. I know he's had injury problems though. But a heavy reason I think this will happen is because he's born and bred London. Obviously, we know we've signed a lot of players in recent years that are born and bred London. Obviously, Shaden Morris, Asaya Jones. So it could be one that could be more beneficial for him, closer to home, and things like that. And also, he can play a lot of different positions. So I feel that can help us. He can play on that left side. You know, he's quite experienced. So I would take him in that aspect for that side. He also plays as a cam. I feel we need another cam. And he doesn't do this as much, but he can play as a CDM, more in that defensive sort of role. Obviously, we've put Walsh, who is naturally a cam, in more of a defensive role, so we could see it. What's your thoughts on this one, Dad?
I think I remember watching him at Coventry a few times when we played them, and I think he was on the right hand side. Always looked neat and tidy on the ball, strong. Don't think he's played below Championship level. Played really well for Huddersfield when they got promoted to the Premier League that season. Went to Bristol City as well. Done all right there. It's a couple of injuries, but nothing like major. He's been at a few clubs, but I think he scores generally a couple of goals, gets a couple of assists if he's in a decent team and that. Definitely way too good for League One, I would say. Scored a great free kick. I think it's last season. So yeah, he's a technical player, and it's a loan deal. He did have a knee injury, last month. He was out for quite a few games this season. Otherwise, possibly he would have played more. But they've obviously signed other players and things like that. But he's a quality player. He's operated at a good level. You know what I mean? So he should be really handy in League One, and he's got good experience. So and like you say, I think he can play anywhere across the midfield. Right wing, left wing. Attacking, and the centre, and occasionally CDM. And if he does play there, I think he's quite strong in that, and be able to get the ball away and calm the game down and that, and then maybe you could enable Walsh to go a bit further up or whatever. Do you know what I mean? But we can switch it around. I think it's a good signing, and he still plays for Jamaica, or it seems to play really well from there. They play him on the right as a prong attacking and that, but he always does well for them. So obviously we'll know Bell as well, so he'll be chatting to him. But I'll be happy with that loan. Cam, etc. And you can swap other players around. It's fine. We still need, I can't say he's been brought in to be like a right back. I doubt it, but surprise me if we did see him deployed there if we don't get anyone. But no, I'm happy with it. Let's just get some more. Let's announce that tomorrow and get some more, done before the next game, hopefully. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, like a lot of Hull fans have said, a large part of why he's not played is obviously the injuries and also the fact the excuse me, current midfield they've got in. Obviously they're doing very well. Fair play to them. Obviously in the playoff conversation, and I mean a move closer to home could be beneficial for him. I feel. I do feel that. And yeah, like you say, let's get it done. I think it's highly likely it's going to happen. Um, and yeah, I mean, I had to have a little look at his injury record because I was hoping it was not to the level of Baptiste, but it's not. It's nowhere near as bad as that. And I have spoke to a few Hull fans, and they've just said he's out of favour. Mainly for them, he's played as a cam, but I think for us, he'll either be in that cam role, obviously chopping and changing with Clark, but I can really see him in that two with Walsh right now. I can just see it. And yeah, they're saying he's way too good for League One. And even Harry's saying here in the comments, good signing, Casey Palmer for League One, experienced, clever signing he would be. Played for Chelsea, Coventry, and Hull, where he's at now, as we all know. I think he's a decent pickup. Yeah, I mean, I need to see a bit more of him. But he is one of them players. Like sometimes you're linked with a player and you have to like proper do research, because you don't really know anything about him. I have seen him play a few times, but it's very interesting because even when he has played for Hull, to be fair, this year he's played in all sorts of positions. Like one of the games he was like CDM, one of the games he was like cam, one of the games, do you know what I mean? It weren't one or two positions, it was like three different positions, all the positions he can play. So yeah, and like you say, obviously, obviously he plays for Jamaica, and I think when he was at Bristol City, he might have played with Wells. He would have played with Wells actually, so that can help as well. No pun intended. Yeah, like we say, he will be a loan. I think it's going to be with like buying him at the end of the season though. What I've heard, possibly. So yeah, Tay Palmer is at least low end championship level. Pressing that will be from Wilshere and Luton board. Yeah. I'd agree with that. I'd agree with that. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on that. But yeah, Dad, any final things you want to say before we wrap up?
No, I was just thinking about the Plymouth game. So we have sometimes
Tough. I mean, the last games we've been poor against them.
I kind of know what they're going to be like because it's away in it.
It's away, yeah. 12:30 as well.
They've still got that manager, aren't they?
Yeah.
And he was shit ass when they were. He got sent off.
He got sent off. You reckon he gets sent off again?
No, but yeah, we know what they're going to play like. Do you know what I mean? They're going to be in, and we've got to deal with that. I mean, we've been dealing with it recently, so this is their season's they're definitely not. I'm surprised he's still there. They're definitely not in the playoffs or anything. Question at the moment. That's a funny thing, but they just can't seem to get on a run, and this is where we need to. We're only outside the playoffs on goal difference, so we need, before we going into that Huddersfield game, which is massive as well. We would have a manager. We beat them already, but they might have sort of new manager bounce. They might, or no manager bounce because they didn't believe in him, etc. So yeah, important games. And then obviously, I think who we got after that? Is it the one you're going to, Blackpool? Is it?
Yeah, it actually is. Yeah.
And then that Wigan game, I'm sure that's soon after. Obviously, we know that's been moved because they're playing Chelsea or whoever it is in the cup.
Yeah, Wednesday night that is.
Game. So they'll have half an eye on that. So that's in my opinion. So that's another game that we should be. Then we beat them 1-0 already, haven't we, this season? I think. But
yeah, it's when Saville scored, I think.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean it's a couple of games ahead, but yeah, I'm just that game is important. I know they all are, but this, we need to be at more consistency now.
And it's two back-to-back away games as well, which obviously have been better at home in recent times.
Yeah, so yeah, we need to be doing that. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, it's a difficult one because, obviously we get more into it on Friday, but I do think it's our best opportunity to beat Plymouth in terms of the recent times. I mean, yes, you could argue last year at home, but then I think because both teams, it was inevitable we were going to go down. And I think it was inevitable they were. It sort of weren't as big as it could be now for us, I feel. And obviously the away game last year, I mean, that was awful. Obviously, I went to that. It was shocking, absolutely shocking. Says a lot when your best player was flipping Victor Moses, really, doesn't it? Who's a free agent now. No one's snapping him up by the looks of it. But yeah, I mean, the position they're in. But then it would be typical, wouldn't it, Dad? Like Pebble or something like that to score. It just would be typical. So yeah, as long as, there needs to be a performance, man. There needs to be, especially for all them fans going. I mean, fair play if you are. I mean, 12:30. I mean, if you're going on a day, you're gonna have to leave well early, well early. So, but the positive is at least you'll get back more reasonable time than it could have been if it's 3 o'clock or later. That's one positive. But yeah, I mean, and then
They're
the
on good
Huddersfield,
form. They're on good form as well. Really, they're unbeaten in like 5, 6,
and obviously we've got them in a trophy as well. I mean, I
7.
don't mind that because that's at home. I might actually decide to go to that one.
They're definitely picked up, mate. They're definitely picked up.
The only thing I will say is when we do have them, I think it's in a period we've got some very tough games. So I do expect rotation. I think in between that period when it's meant to be played, we've got, I think it's Bradford at home on the game before that, and then Cardiff away, I think it is, or something like that. So, or it might be, it's definitely Cardiff away and someone. I might be wrong with Bradford, but it's someone that's pretty good. So yeah, I mean, I expect rotation in that. But yeah, it's most likely it's going to be us. Obviously, they've got a few days now, Swindon, but I just think, I don't mind Holloway, but given what he was saying, he just sounds guilty to me. He sounds really guilty, to be honest. If you listen to it, then you know what I mean. But yeah, I mean, and the fact they've put us back in anyway, it just wouldn't make sense for them to go, no, you're not in it now.
I mean, we've said it as well, but if they win, if they beat us, they're only 3 points behind us. So that's how much they have picked up. But this is, and they are at home.
This is what they should be doing, though. Shouldn't they, really?
Points with Exeter as well, so there's incentive there. It's going to be another tough, but we need to find that fight and that, and just turn on what we have been doing, and we should get away with it with at least the draw, but definitely 1-0 win or whatever.
I'll take that 100%. I mean, the year we got the playoffs and won them.
Yeah,
that's what we used to do, wasn't it? 1-0s. I mean, even a Huddersfield game, I'd take a 1-0. And like I've said, I don't want to go too many games there, but I think that game, I mean, that could be a season definer come the end of the season. It really could. I know we obviously beat them in a reverse fixture, which I think I said we'd lose that game if I remember rightly, and we won, which was obviously massive. Again, this could be another one of them games because they're a team that's going to be around us. Let's be real now. It's going to be interesting to see who they do get in.
And also, Stevenage are playing their game in hand, one of their games in hand tomorrow.
And it's Bolton away, isn't it?
Yeah. So you need it to be a draw because if Stevenage win, they go into the playoffs and they go a point above us. If Bolton win, obviously they go, let's go fourth or whatever. But ideally a draw, isn't it? That's what you want there. Or Stevenage to win because there'll only be a point, But it's just draw. You want to draw, but let's see what happens with that.
Yep, no, 100%. We'll go through the last few comments. Plymouth are trash for most of this season at home. I'd be expecting you lot to go there and win. I even give my prediction now, 2-0 Luton. Yeah, put that in the Discord if you want, and I'll start it for now. Yeah, I mean, like I say, I understand why you say that, but we just struggle against Plymouth, man. It's so frustrating.
We've been beaten for about 4 or 5 games now.
Yeah. I think of all the games, like I've said, I've listed out all the games not too long ago.
I think the last time we beat them was when we beat them 5-1.
Yeah, and even then, I can't actually really, remember that. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy. It's actually crazy. But like I say, I do believe this is our best opportunity in the recent times of playing them to beat them. I think it's a better opportunity than it was last year at Kenilworth Road when everyone pretty much nailed us on to win because they were awful away. But, I mean, poor season for them as well, let's be honest. I mean, people said they'll win the league. I think I said they'll win the league. Do you know what I mean? And as much as I don't like Cleverly, I think for this level, we should have been doing much better. I mean, what he done with, them lot was pretty good, let's be honest.
Is it them who've got Talage as well?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good player.
Exactly, yeah. And they got Galloway as well.
Yeah.
He's actually started to score in a couple of games. He's a left back as well, isn't he?
Just lost Barley Mumbolo.
Yeah. Harry's mentioned that here. He said a huge positive is they don't have their best player anymore. Yeah, he was good. Huddersfield, yeah.
Yeah, after, so.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know, yeah, literally. Oh, mate, honestly, flipping hell. Yeah, it's tomorrow. Yeah. I'm going to watch it, actually. Yeah, I'm going to watch it. That's the game I'm going to watch. because I had a little look the other week actually and saw that. So yeah, of course we'll have a look. It's one of them.
You have a look.
There you go, sneezing all over the gaff. Bolton should win that one, I reckon. Yeah, Bolton at home, didn't they? I know they're away.
Is it away?
Yeah, so why I thought it was at Bolton, my bad. Yeah, I've got a feeling it's going to be a draw. 1-1. 1-1, which, like you say, Dad, would be all right for us, to be honest, I feel. But I don't feel Stevenage are really, near us now. I'm looking more at Stockport, Huddersfield and Bolton, really. Possibly Bradford if they drop off a little bit, but I don't think they will. They're the main ones I'm looking at, to be honest. So, yeah, that is the end of the Hat Show for today, guys. So big up to everyone that's tuned in, episode 298. And by the time we get to 300, we'll be reacting to the Plymouth game and previewing the Huddersfield game. So hopefully we're talking about a win and then obviously confidence, hopefully, to go into another good result, hopefully. And I think on Sunday, I'm going to do a preview again with Caden like we did for the reverse fixture, obviously at Kenilworth Road for this one. So, yeah, check that out as well. And, yeah, obviously, hopefully there's going to be a lot of transfer news. And, obviously, I can do T-Boy discusses throughout the week. And, yeah, shout out to Darth Vader, who's just put 3-2 to us against Plymouth. So that'd be nervy, but we'd certainly take that. Any type of win, don't care. Don't care at this point. We just need to get the points on the board. So, yeah, hopefully there's stuff to talk about, like I say. Hopefully a few incomings, outgoings, stuff to talk about. So, yeah, big up to everyone that's tuned in. Don't forget to smash a like, subscribe. Follow me, of course, on my socials. Subscribe to the Extra channel. And, yeah, we both will definitely see you on Friday. I might see you guys during the week if news comes out. But if not, see you guys on Friday. But it should come out. We have to do business still. So, yeah, big up to everyone. All of that. Take care. Peace.